What's up? I'm Jacques and welcome back. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. On this channel, we talk about finance, how to manage money, and tips to help you build wealth. If these are things you're interested in, hit the subscribe button. What do you have to lose? In this video in particular, we're going to be talking about 10 things that you should avoid when you're trying to save money. And this is from a minimalist perspective. Just a disclaimer. Personally, some of these 10 things were easier to implement than others. So you might experience something similar. Some might come easy, but others might take a little bit more effort. Let's get into it. Number 1, avoid buying bottled water. Each bottle of water is not that expensive, but over time it starts to add up. And you could simply avoid this by buying a filter, and then you don't have that continuous expense. This can help you save money and minimize on plastic waste. The transition from bottled water to filtered water was really easy, and now I don't have to buy or store cases of water. Number 2, avoid eating out. When you're eating out, you're paying for the food, you're paying for the labor to prepare the food, you're paying for taxes, you're paying for tips, and that same amount of money you're going to spend in a restaurant can be used to buy groceries, and that could supply you up to about 4 meals. You should not be eating out more than once a week, or if you're trying to get out of that, you should be eating out less than that, or just not eating out at all. Confession: I struggle with this just because unless I make a large meal over the weekend, I usually don't have time to prepare a meal every single day. Since I've been working from home, I've been cooking a lot more. But also during the quarantine, I started to get tired of cooking, so at some point I would buy food to just change things up. I try not to do that too often though. Number 3, avoid alcohol or buying drinks at a bar. And I know this is going to be really difficult for some people, but personally this is not something that I struggle with because I don't drink at all. But this can become a really expensive habit if you drink a lot, or if you want to be a baller and buy rungs for your friends. Instead, you could buy bottles and pre-game before going out. This is the same concept of saving money by cooking as opposed to eating out. Some people go to the extreme where they will not buy anything when they go out. So they will smuggle snacks into the movies. They will have 3-course meals in containers and foil when they go on the plane. And sometimes we make fun of them, but they save a lot of money by doing this. Along with alcohol, cigarettes, weed, and other drugs are expensive habits to have. And from a financial perspective, it doesn't make sense, or it's just not worth it. And I know some of my students might be looking at this video. Just avoid alcohol and drugs altogether. Number 4, avoid credit card fees. Everyone should get a credit card because sometimes you need access to more money than you actually have. But you should never carry a balance. I think I got my first credit card when I was a freshman in university. What I would do is make all my normal purchases like groceries, transportation on my credit card, and then go on my bank app and transfer the money from my checkings account to my credit card so that I could pay that off immediately. Using this method, I was able to build my credit score and then gain some points on my credit card without paying any interest. Credit cards can be a huge trap for people and students without discipline. This should not be used for a shopping spree. If you don't have that money set aside in your account already, you should not make that purchase with your credit card. Number 5, avoid casinos or lottery tickets or lottery tickets, however you want to pronounce it. If you're looking for a quick way to lose your hard-earned money, gambling might be the thing for you. People blow months worth of paycheck in just one night. Even if you know someone who's won $1 million from the lottery, this does not increase your probability or your chances of winning. This should not be a risk that you're willing to take, especially if you're broke or in debt. Number 6, avoid unused subscriptions. These subscriptions can be gym memberships, Netflix or Hulu, Amazon Prime, Apple Music. And it's okay to have subscriptions, but if after a week or a month has passed and you have not gone to the gym, it's about time to say the summer body is dead and cancel your gym membership. Or you could just start going to the gym so you're utilizing that subscription and not wasting money. Number 7, avoid expensive dating. It can start to get really expensive when you have multiple first dates, especially as a man. But dating does not have to be expensive. It just takes mature people that don't require being spoiled to feel good. I'm saying straight up, if you're trying to date me right now, you will not get wine and dine. I'm not saying we're gonna have KFC dates, although that doesn't sound too bad. But if I didn't budget for that date this month, you would have to check me next month. Number 8, avoid making a lot of upgrades. A lot of people try to update their phones, their cars, their house and apartments when nothing was wrong with what they had originally. When they could simply endure the crack on their phone, the fact that their car only turns on the 3rd try, or the house without AC. What you can do is just fix what you have, and this will be significantly less expensive than if you were to do an upgrade. The idea is that eventually you should be able to afford these things, but for right now it might not be worth it. If you can't comfortably buy this item twice, then you really can't afford it. Number 9, avoid brand name clothes and shoes. I know this is going to be tough depending on your age and your mindset and whether you care about what other people think or not. Because if you're still going to school, you're going to have a hard time surviving if you wear Jordans like this or this. I'm not saying that you should go about buying knockoff or bootleg brands, because that just looks like you want to wear the brand but you can't afford to, which is the truth, but that's besides the point. There are lots of unpopular no-name brands that are cheap and people don't even recognize that you didn't pay much money for it. These are the purchases that you want to make. Don't fool yourself to think that just because it's a brand name item, it is of better quality than the cheap one, because a lot of times this is not the case, and the cheap item can be more durable than the more expensive one. Or in some cases, it might even look better. A perfect example of that is this. No one could tell me that this looks good. I will fight you on that one. But people buy it just because it's easy. Number 10, avoid rent or high rent. If you're living at home, you're working and you're not paying rent, you want to set aside that money as if you were paying rent for 2 reasons. Number 1, just in case they kick you out, you already have that money accounted for in your budget. And number 2, you're saving money on rent by living at home, so go ahead and actually save that rent money. If you're already renting, you could save money by having a roommate, by subleasing the apartment while you travel, or by renting within your means. It is okay to have that 1-bedroom apartment where you roll up for your bed and then you end up in your kitchen, because renting should be a temporary thing. The goal should be to eventually get your own home, so you want the rent to be as low as possible so you can set aside that money to buy in your own house. If you benefited from anything I had to say in this video, go ahead and like, comment and subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram at I am Jacques. Check the description below for more information, and until next time.